In the summer of 1900, Yellowstone's Fountain Hotel stood as a grand monument amidst the untamed wilderness, a symbol of refinement and grace. Its majestic architecture, towering against geothermal wonders, beckoned travelers from afar. The interior of the Fountain Hotel was a haven of luxury. Polished wooden floors gleamed under the soft glow of chandeliers, and ornate tapestries adorned the walls, each telling a tale of adventure and exploration. Guests adorned in their finest garments gathered in the grand hall, their voices melding into a harmonious blend of laughter and conversation. They spoke of the day's sightings, of bison herds roaming the plains, and the awe-inspiring eruptions of geysers. Into this world of splendor and excitement stepped Leroy R. Piper, a 36-year-old man from Ohio. With a demeanor more reserved than that of the exuberant guests around him, Piper moved through the hotel with a quiet grace, his eyes reflecting a deep, introspective soul. Despite his unassuming presence, there was an air of determination about him, as if he were on a journey not just through the park, but within himself. The dining room of the Fountain Hotel was a spectacle of culinary delight. Piper, seated alone, observed the room with a thoughtful gaze. As he dined, there was a sense of melancholy about him, a man seemingly wrestling with his thoughts. Yet he savored each bite as if imprinting the memory of the flavors and the place's ambiance upon his mind. After savoring his dinner, Piper purchased a cigar at the hotel's concierge desk. The lobby was abuzz with the evening's excitement, starkly contrasting with the serene darkness waiting outside. As he stepped into the fantastic night, the wilderness of Yellowstone enveloped him. Under the vast starlit sky, the sounds of the park's nocturnal life began to intensify. But as the hours passed, Piper did not return. His disappearance sent ripples of concern through the Fountain Hotel. A search was quickly organized, with detachments of cavalry combing the nearby woods and meadows. The news of Piper's disappearance spread like wildfire, igniting speculation and worry among the hotel guests and staff. As the days stretched into weeks, the mystery deepened. Theories abounded. Some whispered that he had lost his mind and wandered off, while others feared a more sinister fate. The hotel, once a place of joy and celebration, now carried the weight of a mystery. Piper's room remained untouched, a haunting reminder of his sudden absence. His belongings, a mix of personal items and travel gear, lay as he had left them, an eerie testament to his unexpected disappearance. The surrounding landscape of Yellowstone, usually a source of awe and inspiration, now seemed to hold a dark secret. The geysers and hot springs, once marveled at for their natural beauty, now appeared as potential hazards that might have claimed an unwary traveler. Rumors swirled among the hotel guests. Some spoke of seeing mysterious figures in the woods, while others recounted chilling howls in the night. Once cheerful and accommodating, the hotel staff moved with a sense of urgency and whispered concern. The Fountain Hotel's bear feeding station, a popular attraction for guests, became a focal point of the investigation. Some speculated that Piper might have ventured too close, meeting a tragic end, but no evidence was found. No sign of a struggle, no trace of Piper. As the search continued, the landscape of Yellowstone began to reveal its secrets, but none are related to Piper. The park's vastness, a mosaic of dense forests, meandering rivers, and rugged terrain, seemed to have swallowed him whole. Back at the hotel, Piper's disappearance became the subject of hushed conversations and furtive glances. Guests began to depart, the shadow of the mystery casting a pall over their stay. Once a beacon of Yellowstone's hospitality, the hotel now stood as a silent witness to one of the park's greatest mysteries. As the years passed, the story of Leroy R. Piper became a legend, a tale of a man who stepped into the night and the annals of Yellowstone's history, never to be seen again. His fate, forever entwined with the mystique of the park, remains an enigma, a haunting reminder of nature's unfathomable mysteries. Worry started to spread in the quiet town of Fort Collins. Christine Cummings, a 32-year-old woman, had vanished without a trace, leaving her friends and family in distress. The story began on a winter day, December 29, 2020, when Christine was last seen at home. Days slipped away with an eerie quietness, resembling a faint whisper lost in the wind. A relative, troubled by the unsettling silence over Christine Cummings' absence, finally took action. As the calendar turned to New Year's Day, the distressing news rippled through the community, reaching the attentive ears of Fort Collins Police Services. Responding to the call, officers rushed to Christine's home with a sense of urgency, yearning to unravel the mystery that enveloped her disappearance. Upon arrival, a heavy stillness lingered, amplifying the concern. What was supposed to be a vibrant house on a new year now echoed with silence, and the search intensified without any sign of life. Notably absent was Christine's trusty companion, a black Jeep SUV, which seemed to have vanished along with its owner, adding a layer of perplexity to the unfolding enigma. In the heart of Fort Collins, the quest for answers commenced, each passing moment amplifying the mystery surrounding Christine Cummings' inexplicable disappearance. Fueled by concern and urgency, the investigators delved into the mystery. Christine's family believed she might have embarked on a hiking adventure, a possibility that raised both hope and worry. The detectives found no signs of foul play, adding a layer of mystery to the unfolding tale. Amid worry, Christine's friend Melissa George emerged as a beacon of hope. In an era of digital connections, Melissa took to the online realm, creating a spreadsheet with trails for people to search. A collective effort began, with friends, family, and concerned citizens joining virtually to find their missing friend. Melissa, who had known Christine since 2005, painted a picture of her friend as level-headed and deeply passionate about her life in Fort Collins. The disappearance seemed surreal, as it was entirely out of character for Christine. Concerns echoed through the community, with friends and family bewildered by her sudden absence, unaware of any plans for a grand hiking trip. As the investigation unfolded, Fort Collins police widened their search. They contacted Yellowstone National Park and Rocky Mountain National Park, knowing that Christine was known to explore the trails of these two majestic landscapes. The search expanded beyond city limits, encompassing the vast wilderness where Christine might have ventured. Amidst the worry and uncertainty, details about Christine emerged, creating a vivid image for those searching for her. She drove a 2015 black Jeep SUV with the license plate EOL 263. Christine, a white woman with brown hair and blue eyes, stood 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighing 140 pounds. Each detail became a beacon for those hoping to spot her in the vastness of nature. Days turned into nights, and the community remained on edge, awaiting news of Christine's safe return. The story of a missing woman unfolded, bringing together a community in shared concern and collective efforts. The quiet town of Fort Collins became a backdrop to a tale of friendship, worry, and the unwavering hope for a happy ending. But despite all efforts, there was no sign of Christine. No one knew where she went and why. Her disappearance is still a mystery, waiting to be solved. Once upon a time in Yellowstone National Park, a 13-year-old Boy Scout named Luke Sandberg from Helena, Montana, eagerly joined his fellow troop members and 3 adults on an adventurous camping expedition. The group, filled with enthusiasm, set out to explore the beauty of nature surrounding them. As they ventured deeper into the park, the air buzzed excitedly, and laughter echoed through the trees. With a spark of curiosity, Luke eagerly joined his fellow scouts and the accompanying adults on an adventurous camping expedition in Yellowstone National Park. The air buzzed with excitement as the group, filled with enthusiasm, set out to explore the beauty of nature surrounding them. Laughter echoed through the trees as they ventured deeper into the park, immersing themselves in the joy of outdoor exploration. Their shared goal emerged as they faced the brisk and lively Yellowstone River. The young scouts, led by Luke, embarked on the challenge of creating a makeshift bridge by pushing logs into the rushing waters. The sound of the lively river added a thrilling dimension to their endeavor, testing their teamwork and resilience. Despite the daunting task, the group's camaraderie flourished, and the sense of challenge only fueled their determination. With each log placed in the water, the team embraced the task before them, turning this camping adventure into a cherished memory etched in the hearts of all those who participated. Under the vast sky and surrounded by the park's breathtaking landscapes, Luke and his companions immersed themselves in the joy of outdoor exploration. Little did they know that this camping adventure would become a cherished memory, etched in the hearts of all those who participated in the journey through Yellowstone's wilderness. Tragedy struck on a fateful Friday when one of the logs, manipulated by the rushing current of the Yellowstone River, abruptly clipped Luke's legs. The force of the impact sent him tumbling into the cold and tumultuous waters, leaving the air filled with gasps of shock and disbelief. As Luke helplessly floated downstream, the rapid current became an unpredictable adversary, and desperation gripped those who witnessed the unforeseen accident. His head, bravely above water, mirrored the resilience within him as he faced the unfolding crisis. News of the distressing incident swiftly spread through the community, triggering a wave of concern and empathy. The situation's urgency prompted dozens of officials and volunteers to rally together on a sad Saturday morning, driven by a shared determination to launch a rescue mission. The collective efforts of these dedicated individuals aimed to navigate the challenging terrain along the Yellowstone River, their hearts burdened with the weight of uncertainty surrounding Luke's fate. The unfolding tragedy united the community in a solemn mission to bring the young scout back to safety. The search focused on a 14-mile stretch of the river between Knowles Falls and a bridge at Corwin Springs, Montana. A team of kayakers bravely ventured out to aid in the search. Amidst the efforts, Luke's parents joined in, determined to find their son. Hope fluttered when a white tennis shoe, matching the description of Luke's footwear, was discovered about 5 miles downstream. Yet the situation remained grim, as no other clothing was found. Despite their thorough search, no evidence was found, leading them to the heart-wrenching conclusion that Luke had likely lost his life. Without any additional clues, the sad reality settled in, a tale shaped by unfortunate circumstances and the untamed force of nature. Mark O'Neill and his half-brother's relationship was like no other. Mark was 67, while his half-brother, Kim Crumbo, was 74 years old. Despite their 7-year age gap, they still enjoyed the best of their time together. Both of them worked as conservationists, and during their free time, they explored nature. Both men had dedicated their lives to the preservation of the natural world, working tirelessly to protect and conserve the pristine landscapes they held dear. Together, they embarked on countless adventures, exploring the wilderness and immersing themselves in the beauty of the great outdoors. For O'Neill and Crumbo, each expedition was more than just a journey into the unknown. It was an opportunity to deepen their understanding of the intricate workings of nature and to marvel at the wonders of the world around them. With each step they took and each discovery they made, they grew closer as brothers and as comrades in arms in the fight to safeguard our planet's precious resources. On one fateful day, O'Neill and Crumbo set out on a deep nature exploration, their sights set on Shoshone Lake in Wyoming. Armed with nothing but their passion for conservation and a thirst for adventure, they embarked on a 4-night journey into the heart of the backcountry, eager to immerse themselves in the untamed beauty of the wilderness. After setting up camp beside the tranquil shores of the lake, the brothers in spirit settled in for the night, their hearts filled with anticipation for the adventures that lay ahead. As they drifted off to sleep beneath the star-studded sky, they dreamed of the wonders they would encounter in the days to come. When morning dawned and the first rays of sunlight pierced the horizon, they set out for their adventure. But during this adventure, something tragic occurs. The tranquility of Shoshone Lake was shattered by the shocking discovery made by a group of tourists who had ventured into the backcountry for a day of exploration. As they wandered through the bush near the water's edge, Their conversation punctuated the stillness of the wilderness, their footsteps rustling through the undergrowth as they made their way along the trail. Suddenly, their progress was halted by the abrupt cessation of movement from the tourist at the head of the line. As his companions clustered around him, curiosity piqued. Their eyes were drawn to the lifeless form of Mark O'Neill, lying near the shore, his body still and silent amidst the beauty of the natural landscape. Shock and disbelief rippled through the group as they grappled with the grim reality of what lay before them. With level-headed maturity, they quickly sprang into action, contacting emergency services and alerting authorities to the tragic discovery they had made. O'Neill's body was swiftly transported to the hospital, where an autopsy revealed the cause of his death to be hypothermia, a chilling reminder of the unforgiving power of nature and the dangers that lurk within its embrace. As news of O'Neill's tragic fate spread, concern mounted for the whereabouts of his brother, Kim Crumbo, who had embarked on the backcountry excursion with him. Relatives grew increasingly anxious when the brothers failed to return from their expected 4-night trip, prompting them to report them as overdue to park authorities. The search for Crumbo was launched with renewed urgency, as teams scoured the area near Shoshone Lake on foot, by boat, and with the assistance of search dogs and helicopters. Every effort was made to locate him, with sonar equipment deployed to search for clues beneath the surface of the water. Despite the exhaustive efforts of search and rescue teams, Crumbo remained elusive, his whereabouts shrouded in mystery as the investigation into his disappearance continued. As days turned into weeks, hope dwindled that he would be found alive, leaving loved ones to grapple with the agonizing uncertainty of his fate. Yet amidst the despair and heartache, there remained a glimmer of optimism, a steadfast belief that Crumbo's resilience and survival instincts would see him through even the darkest of times. With each passing day, the search continued, fueled by the unwavering determination to bring him home and provide closure for his grieving family. As the incident remained under investigation, the search for Crumbo persisted, with volunteers and authorities alike refusing to give up hope of finding him alive. Though the passage of time brought with it challenges and uncertainties, the resolve to reunite Crumbo with his loved ones remained unwavering, a beacon of hope in the face of overwhelming adversity. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the search for Kim Crumbo continued, a testament to the enduring power of love, hope, and the unbreakable bond between two brothers, united by a shared passion for conservation and a love of the great outdoors. In the vast boundaries of Yellowstone National Park, where nature's wonders meet danger, a tragic tale unfolded on June 7, 2016. Colin Scott, a recent psychology graduate, and his sister Sable went on a journey that would take them beyond the safety of prescribed paths. Colin, a young man from the scenic city of Portland, Oregon, embarked on a day trip with his sister, eager to explore the wonders of Yellowstone. Their chosen destination was the Norris Geyser Basin, renowned for its enchanting thermal pools and geysers that paint the landscape with nature's vivid palette. Fueled by excitement and curiosity, the siblings set out on a journey that would tragically veer into dangerous territory. Despite clear warnings and designated paths marked for the safety of visitors, Colin and his sister chose a different route, deviating from the prescribed boardwalk. Venturing into the forbidden landscape, they unknowingly stepped into an area where the geothermal wonders held not only a lure, but also concealed the potential for grave danger. The stage was set for an unfortunate turn of events in this forbidden territory, where the Earth's internal forces met the surface. Sable documented their forbidden exploration with a smartphone. As they approached a hot pool, tragedy struck. Colin, kneeling to gauge the spring's temperature, slipped and fell into the scalding waters. Within a matter of seconds, the boiling hot spring claimed the life of young 23-year-old Colin. In the absence of mobile phone service, Sable faced a desperate situation. Forced to leave the basin for help, she rushed to the nearby Ranger Museum, hoping that assistance would arrive in time to save her brother. Park officials, alerted to the incident, faced grim circumstances when they reached the spring. Remnants of Colin's head, upper torso, and hands were discovered, but the extreme conditions, a scorching 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit spring, and an impending lightning storm, thwarted recovery efforts. The following morning, as officials returned to the spring, the cruel reality of nature's power was unveiled. The acidic pool had completely dissolved Colin's body, leaving only a few personal belongings, a haunting testament to the danger that lurks within Yellowstone's thermal wonders. As the echoes of the tragic event resonated in the wilderness, Yellowstone served as a sad reminder of the importance of respecting nature's boundaries. The forbidden journey of Colin and Sable Scott, captured in a few fleeting moments, unfolded as a cautionary tale of the dangers beneath the park's breathtaking surface. After this heart-wrenching incident, Yellowstone National Park reinforced the importance of adhering to safety guidelines. Beautiful yet dangerous thermal springs stand as a testament to the delicate balance.
In the lush, expansive embrace of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a mystery that has echoed through the valleys and over the peaks remains unsolved, leaving a void in the hearts of a family and a community. This is the story of Dennis "Denny" Martin, a 6-year-old boy whose disappearance on Father's Day weekend in 1969 has become an enduring enigma, a tale of innocence lost amidst nature's grandeur. The Martin family had a tradition, a ritual of unity and celebration in the heart of the mountains they so loved. Every summer they gathered for a family reunion, but this particular year was exceptional. It was Denny's introduction to this cherished tradition. With excitement in his heart and the wilderness calling, Denny ventured into the park, unaware of the shadow ahead. On June 14, 1969, Spence Field became the stage for a moment that would forever alter the course of the Martin family's lives. With his bright red shirt and green shorts, Denny became the central figure in a playful prank intended to surprise the adults. The plan was simple. The children would hide and jump out to startle their unsuspecting parents. Due to the visibility of his red shirt, Denny was to hide alone, a decision that now haunts those who loved him. Bill Martin, Denny's father, watched his son step off the trail, his slight figure disappearing behind a bush. It was a moment frozen in time, a father's last glimpse of his son. When Denny failed to emerge with the laughter of the other children, concern quickly turned into dread. Bill Martin's desperate search through the dense forest, calling out for Denny, yielded silence. The park rangers were alerted, and thus began a search operation that would become the largest in the park's history. The search for Denny Martin spanned nearly 60 square miles of rugged terrain, a testament to the determination to find the young boy. Over 1,400 volunteers, FBI agents, bloodhounds, U.S. Army helicopters, Boy Scouts, and the Green Berets scoured the area, their efforts hampered by the erratic weather of the mountains. Heavy winds and rain showers, which followed shortly after Denny's disappearance, may have erased any clues to his whereabouts. Despite the massive scale of the search, no trace of Denny was found, not even the child-sized footprints in the Oxford shoes he was wearing that day. The mystery deepened with the account of a state highway engineer, Harold Key, who reported hearing a child scream on the day Denny disappeared. Key's encounter with an unkempt man near the scene added layers of speculation and fear, but the distance from Spence Field led investigators to discount this lead. The wilderness of the Great Smoky Mountains kept its secrets, leaving only questions and the anguish of a family missing their little man. In 1985, a ginseng hunter claimed to have found a child's skeleton in an area remote from where Denny was last seen. Still, his illegal activities in the park deterred him from reporting the discovery until years later. When searched, nothing was found, and the lead turned cold, as did the hope of solving the mystery. The search for Dennis Martin changed the Martin family forever, transforming search and rescue operations within the park. The overwhelming influx of volunteers and potential evidence contamination led to reflections on the strategies employed in such critical situations. Yet despite these lessons learned, the fate of Dennis Martin remains a haunting unknown. As the years have passed, theories have emerged, ranging from tragic accidents to more sinister explanations, yet none have brought closure. The Great Smoky Mountains continue to whisper the name of Dennis Martin, a child of the wilderness whose laughter was silenced too soon. In the hearts of those who remember, the search for Denny never ends, a quest for answers in a tale woven into the fabric of the park's history.
In the heart of Yellowstone National Park, Shoshone Lake lay like a serene, unspoken secret amidst the wild. It was here in September 2021 that Kim Crumbo and his brother Mark O'Neill set out on a journey that would etch their names into the memory of the park forever. Their story, a blend of adventure and mystery, began under a sky that promised both tranquility and turmoil. Kim, 74, was a man of the waters, a soul woven from the threads of the countless rivers he'd navigated. His life, a rich tapestry of environmental conservation, resonated with the spirit of the wild. Mark, 67, shared this profound bond with nature. His quiet demeanor complemented his brother's, and together they were a duo united by water and wilderness. Their bond was deepened by their shared childhood, growing up with a love for water and adventure. Kim, a Navy SEAL veteran and seasoned river ranger, carried the wisdom of the rivers in his eyes. Mark, a guardian of national parks and an advocate for nature, wore his years of experience like a badge of honor. As they prepared for their journey, the brothers were unaware that this trip would be their last together. On a cool September morning, with the gentle hum of Yellowstone waking up around them, Kim and Mark set out on Shoshone Lake. The glassy surface of the water reflected their excitement, the canoe cutting through the stillness with each determined stroke. The surrounding wilderness, a vast expanse of pine and mystery, watched in silent anticipation. The lake, however, had its own secrets and perils. Despite their extensive experience, Kim and Mark soon found themselves at the mercy of nature's unpredictable moods. As they approached the Narrows, a notorious passage on the lake, the calm waters began to churn. The sky, once clear, was now a canvas of dark, brooding clouds. Back on the shore, a sense of unease lingered at their abandoned campsite. The crackling fire, once a source of warmth and comfort, now burned solemnly, its flames casting long shadows over the untouched supplies. The brothers, who had set out with laughter and stories, were now enveloped by the unforgiving embrace of the lake. The search for Kim and Mark was an arduous journey of hope and despair. As days turned into weeks, the relentless efforts of the search teams painted a picture of unwavering determination. The discovery of Mark's body, a heartbreaking moment, brought a devastating reality to the surface. The wilderness that had been their sanctuary was now a reminder of their tragic fate. Kim, however, remained elusive, his spirit seemingly one with the lake he loved. The search continued, but as winter's cold fingers crept over Yellowstone, hope faded like the last rays of the sun. Superintendent Cam Shawley, haunted by the loss and driven by a sense of duty, embarked on a solitary search, a testament to the unyielding nature of hope. The wilderness of Yellowstone, with its beauty and dangers, became a silent witness to the story of Kim and Mark. Their legacy, a tale of passion for the natural world and the unbreakable bond of brotherhood, lingered in the air, in the rustling of the leaves, and in the gentle lap of the waters against the shore. Their journey, marked by adventure and ended in mystery, remains a poignant reminder of nature's unpredictable power. In the heart of Yellowstone, the story of Kim Crumbo and Mark O'Neill lives on, a narrative of two souls forever intertwined with the wild, untamed spirit of Shoshone Lake. In Glendive, Montana, a 36-year-old woman named Renee Arcand embarked on a journey that would take an unexpected turn. Renee, a Wisconsin native, had set out on a road trip from her home state to Oregon, planning to enjoy the tranquility of Montana's wilderness. Little did she know that her adventure would take a distressing twist. Renee had chosen to camp near the Yellowstone River at the Intake Fishing Access Site, a picturesque spot 15 miles north of Glendive. Yellowstone River flows through northwestern Wyoming, southern and eastern Montana, and northwest North Dakota, and covers an area of 692 miles. The river is so dangerous that it is approximately 42 feet deep. It was a simple plan to camp for 5 days, surrounded by nature's beauty. However, on the night of Monday, June 26, 2023, something went awry. Standing 5 foot 5 inches with hazel eyes and brown hair, Renee mysteriously vanished, leaving her companion in utter distress. On the fateful morning of Friday, June 30th, 2023, a sense of urgency gripped Renee Arcand's companion as they discovered her mysterious disappearance. Desperation led them to search near the camping station. Still, Renee was nowhere to be found, deepening the mystery surrounding her vanishing. Soon, they reported her missing to the authorities. The once joyful camping trip became a frantic search for a missing soul. With her companion's plea for help, the Dawson County Sheriff's Department and the Richland County Sheriff's Department initiated searches to unravel the mystery. Renee's companion, gripped with worry, shared the details of her last known whereabouts. The campsite near the intake diversion dam became the focal point of the search efforts. As the days unfolded, the search extended to include the neighboring areas and the Yellowstone River, covering approximately 70 miles. Desperation grew as searches on land, air, and water failed to yield any trace of Renee. Helicopters circled the skies. Drones scoured the terrain. Despite the high water level, 2 boats navigated the river without seeing the missing woman. The efforts were never-ending, but the high waters and muddy river proved formidable obstacles. As days turned into weeks, the community's gratitude extended to the Richland County Sheriff's Department, who tirelessly joined the search. Badlands Search and Rescue from Watford City, North Dakota, supported the efforts. Daily searches became a routine, each passing day marked by uncertainty. Sheriff Ross Kanan expressed gratitude, but acknowledged their challenges to find Renee. Mother Nature seemed to hold the key to the unfolding mystery. Despite the absence of eyewitnesses, the authorities believed their best guess that Renee might have gone into the water. Suppose the scenario is as speculative as it seems. In that case, the grim reality sets in, and Renee's survival chances diminish. The river might have brutally swallowed Renee, taking her into the darkest depths of its powerful currents. Her chances of defeating nature's forces become gradually slim in such a dire situation. The raging river, a powerful force, may have ended up being the regrettable destination, concealing Renee's fate in the mysterious and dangerous waters, and forcing those looking for her to face the brutal reality of nature's relentless force. However, in that small Montana town, the quiet wilderness echoed with the collective hope of finding Renee Arcand. The once serene campsite bore the weight of an unsolved puzzle, and the Yellowstone River whispered secrets yet to be uncovered. In the summer of 1993, within the breathtaking landscapes of Cook City, Montana, and the mystique of Yellowstone National Park, a 20-year-old named Darren Newell Dixon found himself caught in a mysterious tale. Darren, a busboy at Roosevelt Lodge, was embracing his second summer in the park, taking a break from his studies at Taylor University in Upland, Indiana. Darren's abrupt disappearance added an eerie twist to the holiday festivities as the summer breeze whispered through the pines. On July 2nd, without a hint of explanation, he bid farewell to his job at the lodge, leaving his friends puzzled. On July 4th, locals reported seeing him in town, adding to the mystery as his presence threw a shadow of suspense over the festivities. In the heart of Lamar River Canyon, an eerie discovery awaited. Darren's car, parked at an access point as if holding a silent secret. The air carried whispers of uncertainty as investigators delved into the quiet contours of the vehicle. Inside, a haunting puzzle unfolded. Darren's wallet and personal items lay untouched, preserving the essence of a presence abruptly interrupted. Yet amid the silent stillness, a conspicuous absence loomed, his cherished fishing gear evoking a chilling sense of incompleteness. The picturesque surroundings, once a haven of tranquility, now echoed with unanswered questions. Friends and investigators grappled with the complexity that unfolded within the silent confines of Yellowstone's embrace. Each piece of Darren's belongings spoke cryptically, leaving those who sought him with a chilling realization. a young soul had vanished, leaving only fragments of a life abruptly halted amid the canyon's beauty. The mystery deepened, intertwining with the very fabric of the landscape, as if nature held the key to the enigma that unfolded at Lamar River Canyon. His family, still suffering from his disappearance, turned to the funeral that appeared in the fall for comfort. Even though this tribute was lost to the digital age, his name continued to be mentioned in subsequent obituaries as a moving remembrance of a loved one who had departed. One way to honor Darren's memory was to create a scholarship at Taylor University. Darren appeared in the Wyoming Department of Criminal Investigations database amidst the numerous unaccounted-for individuals, evidence of an unsolved case. His name persisted in the agency's homepage, a beacon of unanswered questions. There are very few stories about Darren on the internet, as it was only in the early stages when his disappearance first made headlines. Monuments of a bygone era, such as the Wyoming DCI pages and the Charlie Project, exist virtually. As the digital landscape offers glimpses into the enigma, show notes from a podcast episode unfurl maps, capturing the locales where Darren wandered in the days preceding July 4, 1993. Time had etched its mark, and Darren, when he reached his 50th year, remains an enduring enigma. His family, though finding a semblance of peace, yearns to lay him to rest, a poignant closure to a tale suspended in uncertainty. Amidst the mystery, Darren's passion for fishing, absence of gear, and the proximity to Lamar River led authorities to a haunting theory. They envisioned Darren by the water, a victim of drowning, swept away by the river's currents. Throughout the summer, relentless search efforts unfolded, yet the landscape guarded its secrets, offering no trace of Darren. The whispers of the flowing river held on to the enigma, leaving behind an unsolved chapter in Yellowstone's vast wilderness. Questions linger in the quiet corners of contemplation. Was Darren's abrupt departure a mere twist of fate, or a harbinger of inner turmoil? The circumstances of his last sighting, a holiday party or a chance encounter in town, remain veiled in the mist of the past. His missing gear, a silent witness to the search efforts, conceals secrets that may alter the course of the narrative. The Griffin family lived in a quaint suburban neighborhood, seemingly idyllic on the surface, but harboring a turbulent storm within their own home. Beth Morris, the matriarch, had long grappled with the fiery temper of her youngest daughter, Catherine. If only she had known the consequences of indulging Catherine's fiery nature from a young age, perhaps things would have turned out differently. As the youngest sibling, Catherine's fiery temper was apparent from the moment she entered the world. Her older brother, Aaron, bore witness to her tumultuous childhood, often finding himself caught in the crossfire of her outbursts. One particular incident stood out in his memory, etched into his mind like a scar. It was the day their father Ross decided to shave off his beard, a decision that would unknowingly unleash Catherine's wrath upon the unsuspecting family. At just 5 years old, Catherine could not comprehend the significance of her father's grooming choice. To her, it was a betrayal of the familiar, a disruption of the status quo she had grown accustomed to. With tears streaming down her face, she unleashed her signature hot temper upon her father, refusing to accept the unfamiliar face that stared back at her. In her young mind, Ross had committed an unforgivable sin, and she was having none of it. As Catherine grew older, her fiery temper only intensified, becoming a source of constant tension within the Griffin household. Arguments erupted like wildfire, leaving emotional scars that lingered long after the flames had died down. Beth Morris, burdened by guilt and regret, wished she had taken a firmer stance with Catherine from the very beginning. An incident occurred when she was 38 years old. Catherine always sought solace from her demanding work as a construction worker by visiting Yellowstone National Park with her travel companion, McCollum, on weekends. However, an argument escalated due to Catherine's fiery temper, leading to a tragic outcome. In the heat of the moment, Catherine impulsively retrieved a gun, and despite it being a verbal dispute, ended her own life. The open windows of McCollum's truck allowed the sound of the gunshot to reverberate through the park, causing panic among staff and tourists alike. The sudden eruption of chaos shattered the tranquility of the park as people fled in fear for their safety. McCollum, reeling from shock and disbelief, emerged from the truck and sank to the ground, overcome by the weight of the tragic events unfolding before him. It wasn't long before park authorities arrived on the scene, drawn by the commotion and the trail of despair left in its wake. As they approached the truck, they discovered Catherine's lifeless body, blood staining the seat beside her. Amid the chaos, McCollum found himself thrust into the spotlight, facing charges of drug possession and traffic violations in connection with Catherine's death. As authorities worked to piece together the events leading up to the tragic incident, Beth Ross, Catherine's mother, and Aaron, her brother, were notified of the incident, their grief palpable as they struggled to come to terms with the sudden and senseless loss. For Beth, the memories of Catherine as a child, the moments of tenderness and affection, clashed with the harsh reality of her daughter's untimely demise. Despite their grief, the family confirmed Catherine's relationship with McCollum, a detail that authorities chose not to disclose publicly. As Beth reflected on Catherine's upbringing, she recalled moments of comfort and solace, when Catherine would seek refuge in her mother's embrace, seeking reassurance and love. It was a stark contrast to the fiery temper that had defined Catherine's adult life, a reminder of the complexity of the human spirit and the struggles that lay beneath the surface. Aaron, Catherine's brother, also struggled to find solace in memories of happier times, knowing that dwelling in the past would only serve to deepen his sorrow. For him, moving forward meant confronting the painful reality of Catherine's death head-on, a daunting task that seemed insurmountable in the wake of such tragedy. As the sun glowed on the rugged terrain north of Yellowstone National Park on March 23, 2022, the air buzzed with anticipation as Craig Pluatra prepared for a hiking adventure. He was a 40-year-old family man hailing from Livingston, Montana. Craig's love for the great outdoors beckoned him to the majestic mountains that stood as silent sentinels against the azure sky. Accompanied by a friend, the duo embarked on a fateful Wednesday morning, their footsteps echoing through the serene wilderness. Driven by the primal urge to explore and perhaps uncover the hidden treasures of the untamed landscape, Craig and his companion went deeper into nature's embrace. The towering peaks and whispering pines bore witness to their journey, unaware that this excursion would take a tragic turn. Once a source of solace and inspiration, the mountains became a backdrop for a tale of unforeseen peril as the day unfolded. The winding trails, adorned with nature's wonders, concealed the impending tragedy that awaited the unsuspecting hikers. Little did Craig know that this venture into the heart of the wilderness would be his last trip, and it will begin a story that will resonate far beyond the slopes and valleys. The mountains, stoic witnesses to the ebb and flow of life, held the secrets of that unfortunate day, leaving a community in sorrow and questioning the unpredictable nature of the majestic yet formidable outdoors. Craig and his friend decided to split up during their hike in the 6 Mile Creek area of the Absaroka Mountains. They separated at a certain hike point and chose different routes to reach their final destination. When Craig's friend returned to their vehicle later in the morning, a chilling realization struck. He couldn't find Craig. Concerned for his friend's safety, he promptly alerted the authorities and searched for Craig. Search teams on the ground and in helicopters combed the rugged terrain, their eyes scanning the vast wilderness for any sign of the missing hiker. With their dense forests and steep slopes above the Yellowstone River, the Absaroka Mountains held secrets and dangers that only nature could conceal. Gripped by worry, the community anxiously awaited news of Craig's whereabouts. Days passed and the search intensified, weaving through the towering trees and rocky paths. Finally, the sad truth emerged. Authorities revealed that Craig had fallen victim to a suspected encounter with a grizzly bear. The news sent shockwaves through the community, leaving them grappling with the harsh reality of the wild landscape surrounding their homes. Once a place of serene beauty, the Absaroka Mountains now bore witness to a tragedy that would forever alter the lives of those who knew and loved Craig. As the community mourned the loss of a good man, a devoted husband and father, the echoes of the incident resonated far beyond the mountainous terrain. Craig's father, David Cloitre, shared memories of a son who had grown up in Massachusetts and had, more than 2 decades ago, found his home in the rugged beauty of Montana. A hard-working family man, Craig's joyous spirit touched the lives of those around him. Ann Tanner, a friend of the victim, struggled to comprehend the untimely fate that had befallen someone so strong and intelligent. The wilderness, Craig's playground in summer hikes and winter ice climbs, had unexpectedly become the stage for his final adventure. The tragic incident echoed the dangers posed by grizzly bears in the Yellowstone region, where these majestic creatures had claimed several lives in the last few years. Yet the community faced a contentious debate in the face of tragedy. Elected officials in the Yellowstone region pushed for lifting protections on grizzlies, advocating for hunting to manage their population. The tension between conservation and safety unfolded against the backdrop of more than 700 bears inhabiting the vast Yellowstone region, where fatal attacks on humans remained rare, but had seen an unsettling increase in recent decades. As the sun set behind the Absaroka Mountains, the community grappled with grief, questions about wilderness safety, and the delicate balance between human presence and the untamed wild. The legacy of Craig Cloitre, a man who met his untimely end in embracing nature's dangers, became a poignant reminder of the complexities and perils of venturing into the heart of the great outdoors.
In the heart of Colorado's majestic Roosevelt National Forest, a day that began with laughter and sunlight would end in shadows and mysteries that have lingered for decades. This is the story of Jared Atadero, a spirited 3-year-old boy whose disappearance on October 2, 1999, would haunt his family, searchers, and the nation. Jared, with his infectious giggle and boundless curiosity, was the light of the Atadero family. Alan Atadero, a single father, cherished his moments with Jared and his sister Jocelyn, weaving a life of joy and adventure around them. Their sanctuary was the Poudre River Resort, which held the essence of their happiest memories and soon, their most profound sorrow. On that fateful fall morning, the sky was a brilliant blue, the air crisp with the promise of autumn. The resort was buzzing with the energy of guests eager to explore the wilderness. Among them was a group from the Christian Singles Network, who proposed a spontaneous trip to the nearby state fish hatchery. When the adventure expanded to include a hike along the Big South Trail, Alan's heart hesitated at the thought of Jared venturing into the forest. Yet, reassured by the group's enthusiasm and the light in his children's eyes, he consented. The trail was a ribbon winding through the rugged beauty of the Comanche Peak wilderness, a place of awe and peril as they would soon discover. The group, with Jared and Jocelyn among them, embarked with laughter, unaware of the turn their day would take. As the afternoon sun dappled through the trees, the group splintered, with some pushing ahead and others trailing behind. Jared, with his tiny legs and boundless energy, ran ahead, a flash of color against the earthy tones of the forest. He encountered 2 fishermen who thought little of the lone boy, assuming the group was close behind. But in those crucial moments, Jared slipped away, his presence absorbed by the vast wilderness. Alan's world shattered at the resort with the news of Jared's disappearance. Panic and disbelief gripped him as he raced to the trail, his voice echoing through the trees, calling for his son. Once a place of joy, the forest became a maze of fear and desperation. The search for Jared mobilized a community and captured the attention of a nation. Volunteers, search and rescue teams, helicopters, and dogs scoured the area. A collective effort marked by hope and hindered by nature's unpredictability. Yet, despite their exhaustive efforts, the forest offered no answers. Days have turned to weeks, weeks to years, with Jared's fate remaining a mystery. Theories abounded: a mountain lion attack, an abduction, a tragic misstep. But none brought solace or closure. Then, nearly 4 years later, a discovery by hikers brought a grim reality to the surface. Jared's belongings, scattered on a remote slope, and the fragment of a skull were all that remained, silent testaments to a life lost too soon. For Alan, the years have been a journey through grief, anger, and acceptance. The souvenirs of Jared's life, A toy tank, a Raiders hat, a Star Wars toy, and the skull fragment are sacred relics, reminders of the boy who brought so much joy and the profound absence his disappearances left. Yet in the shadow of loss, there is also light. Alan finds strength in his faith and in the love that endures beyond the confines of life and death. He speaks of Jared with a mixture of sorrow and hope, a father forever connected to his son by the unbreakable bonds of love. The mystery of Jared Atadero's disappearance remains unsolved, a story of joy turned to heartbreak, adventure turned to tragedy. It is a tale that reminds us of the fragility of life, the depth of a parent's love, and the enduring quest for peace amidst the unfathomable. In the heart of the Roosevelt National Forest, where a little boy's laughter once echoed, there lies a silence, a poignant reminder of the mystery that endures and the love that never fades.
On a brisk morning in April 1966, the Johnson family, filled with anticipation, embarked on a journey to Yellowstone National Park. Dennis Eugene Johnson, fondly called Denny by his family, was the youngest at 8 years old. He has sandy blonde hair that glinted in the sunlight, brown eyes reflecting a world of curiosity, and a notable scar across his abdomen, a mark of his bravery from a childhood adventure. Denny, his parents, and his older sister traveled from their home in Yellowstone, California, to Yellowstone's vast, unspoiled expanses. Though the family was not strangers to outdoor excursions, they felt a different air of excitement about this trip. With its geysers, wildlife, and endless skies, Yellowstone was where nature whispered ancient tales. On April 12th, the Johnsons found themselves at the Cascade Picnic Area, a serene spot a quarter-mile north of Canyon Junction. The area, surrounded by towering pines and the gentle murmur of the nearby river, was the perfect backdrop for their family outing. Denny felt a sense of freedom in his dark red long-sleeve shirt and tan Levi's. His size 8 laced moccasin-type hiking boots crunched over the underbrush as he explored the area around the picnic spot. The family laid out their picnic, laughter mingling with the rustling leaves. But this idyllic scene was soon disrupted. Denny's sister, playful and unaware of the park's vastness, wandered off. Panic set in as her absence was noticed. Denny, ever the protective younger brother, immediately alerted his parents. Knowing his son's familiarity with the outdoors from their hunting trips in California, Denny's father decided they should split up to cover more ground. Denny set off in one direction with a nod of understanding, while his father went in another. The boy's confidence in his abilities was evident in his stride as he disappeared into the thickets. Hours passed and Denny's sister was found, but there was no sign of Denny. The family's calls for him echoed unanswered through the trees. As the sunlight faded, hope turned to despair. The park rangers were alerted and a search began. The search party scoured the area for the next 2 weeks, traversing the rugged landscapes of Yellowstone. They called out for Denny, hoping against hope for a response. They combed through the forest for any sign, a footprint, a piece of clothing, but the wilderness kept its secrets. Denny had vanished without a trace, his disappearance shrouded in mystery. Back at the picnic area, the remnants of their meal lay untouched, a stark reminder of the day's tragic turn. Denny's mother clutched his jacket, tears streaming down her face as she whispered his name into the wilderness. His stoic yet visibly shaken father coordinated with the search teams, refusing to leave the park without his son. Denny's sister, young and bewildered, clung to her parents, her eyes searching the woods for her brother. As days turned into weeks, hope dwindled. The possibility that Denny might have been picked up by a passing vehicle was considered, but with no leads or sightings, it remained a theory. The Johnson family returned home to California, their hearts heavy with the unresolved fate of their son. The story of Denny's disappearance spread through the community, a sad reminder of nature's unpredictability. His family held on to the memories of their bright, adventurous boy, hoping for answers that never came. Years passed, and the mystery of what happened to Denny in the vast wilderness of Yellowstone National Park remained unsolved. It lingered as a poignant tale of a family's loss, a young boy's unexplained disappearance, and the unforgiving nature of the wild. Yellowstone National Park has many secrets hidden within its vast boundaries. The disappearance of Tylee Ryan and her younger brother J.J. Vallow is one of its secrets revealed a year later. Tylee Ryan and her adopted younger brother J.J. Vallow were two siblings. J.J. was an extraordinary boy with autism. They were like other children, filled with laughter and dreams, brightening their parents' world. Tylee, born September 24, 2002, had a radiant smile that could light up the darkest days. JJ, a playful 7-year-old, brought joy and excitement to their household. Little did they know that their lives were about to take a devastating turn. The family went to Yellowstone National Park, where both kids mysteriously disappeared on September 8, 2019. Tylee was Lori Vallow's daughter from her third husband. Her intense cries give the impression that she loved her kids a lot. However, no one knew the true story behind that. As the days passed, whispers of suspicious events surrounded the family. Tylee and JJ's mother, Lori Vallow, had a complex history with multiple husbands, and questions were raised about the circumstances of her previous spouses' deaths. In the whispers, Lori's ex-husband Charles met a tragic end, further casting a mysterious turn on the family. The FBI, Idaho Police Department, and the locals rallied in an attempt to locate the kids, hoping for their safe return. However, the search uncovered not only the disappearance of the children, but also a series of unsettling events. As investigators delved more deeply, they uncovered a string of mysterious deaths connected to Lori Vallow. Her third husband, Joseph Ryan, had met an untimely demise, raising questions about the dark cloud that seemed to follow Lori. The shadow of suspicion loomed over the family, and the once close-knit community was in the middle of an unfolding tragedy. The situation took a grim turn when the coroner testified during Lori Vallow's murder trial, revealing the heartbreaking details of Tylee Ryan's demise. The cause of her death was labeled a homicide, but the manner remained unspecified. The town was left in shock, grappling with the incomprehensible loss of innocent souls. Court documents later revealed the horrifying manner in which siblings JJ and Tylee were found in Chad Daybell's yard in 2020. The details painted a chilling picture of the events leading to their tragic end, sending shivers through the community. The discovery sent ripples of sorrow across the town as the reality of the cold-blooded acts committed against these innocent children became apparent. The investigation continued, unraveling a web of deceit and darkness. Chilling details emerged, exposing the depth of the tragedy. Shallow graves in Chad Daybell's property became the final resting place for Tylee and JJ. The once peaceful town now grappled with the aftermath of a crime that shattered the community's sense of security and belief in motherhood. The total weight of Lori Vallow's actions came to light in the courtroom. The trial unfolded, revealing the harrowing attempts to cover up the horrific crime. Lori faced charges of first-degree murder, conspiracy, and grand theft in connection with the deaths of her children. The court proceedings painted a sad picture of a mother-turned-culprit, leaving the community in mourning and disbelief. As the trial continued, the community grappled with the aftermath of this heartbreaking incident. Tylee Ryan and J.J. Vallow, once the source of joy and laughter, became symbols of a tragedy that forever changed the lives of those who knew them. The echoes of their story served as a sad memory of the delicacy of innocence in the face of darkness. A strange story occurs in the small village of Reed Point, Montana, which the Yellowstone River hides away. Secrets appear to be discovered in the rivers that wind through this peaceful neighborhood. This is a tale of a man gone missing, a river concealing its reality, and the everlasting quest for knowledge. The townspeople were overcome with mystery as the sun set below the horizon in Montana, creating lengthy shadows across the riverbanks. Randall Crawford, a Park City resident, age 63, vanished from sight on August 8, 2021. There was confusion regarding the events leading up to his disappearance. The search for Randall commenced, a collective effort by the community, search and rescue teams, and the river itself, now a silent witness to the unfolding drama. The initial reports, veiled in ambiguity, hinted at the situation's complexity. Articles from different sources added layers to the mystery, each providing a piece of the puzzle. Sweetgrass County Search and Rescue, along with the assistance of Stillwater County Search and Rescue, embarked on a search mission to locate Randall. The tight-knit community rallied to bring him home, facing the challenges surrounding the rugged terrain of Indian Fort. High above, the helicopter scanned the rugged terrain, aiding in the search for any signs of the missing person. Its powerful spotlight pierced through the darkness, illuminating the path for the ground teams below. On the ground, Gallatin County search and rescue dogs used their keen senses to sniff out any traces of the lost individual. With their trained noses and unwavering determination, they scoured the area, guided by their handlers to bring the missing person to safety. In addition to the aerial and ground efforts, the U.S. Water Rescue Team from Billings stood ready to lend their expertise in water-related emergencies. Their specialized training equipped them to navigate the waters, ensuring no stone was left unturned in the search for the missing individual. Amid the scenic beauty surrounding Reed Point, the dedicated teams worked tirelessly to recover Randall's body. Their joint efforts showcased the strength of community bonds, as both search and rescue units combined their expertise to navigate the challenging landscape. The heartbreaking discovery brought a mix of sorrow and relief to Reed Point. The collaborative efforts of Sweetgrass and Stillwater County Search and Rescue provided closure for the community as they mourned the loss of one of their own. Sheriff Roneberg, after careful investigation, revealed that Crawford's cause of death was a heartbreaking drowning. The water that had initially seemed inviting had turned into a dangerous force, claiming a life in an unforeseen tragedy. Adding to the sorrow, officials disclosed a crucial detail. Crawford was not wearing a life jacket during his ill-fated attempt to rescue the raft. The absence of this simple safety measure played a pivotal role in the tragic turn of events. As the community grappled with the loss, the incident served as a poignant reminder of the unpredictable nature of waterways. The absence of a life jacket, a small but crucial precaution, highlighted the importance of safety in water-related activities. September 6, 2010, dawned like any other day in the quiet suburb of Burtonsville, Maryland. Stuart Isaac, a 48-year-old man from the serene islands of Palau, found himself amid a life far removed from his island roots. In the comfort of his home, surrounded by the familiar faces of his family, Stuart seemed like a man at peace. Yet beneath the surface, an inexplicable restlessness stirred. That morning, Stuart moved with an unusual urgency. His family noticed him packing a bag, an odd sight given his usual routine. Stuart was a man of habit, not known for impromptu decisions or adventures into the unknown. Yet he was placing a few belongings into his car, a black 2009 Lexus IS 250. It was an ordinary car about to embark on an extraordinary journey. Before leaving, Stuart left a note for his family. It was brief, devoid of his usual warmth. Going on a cross-country trip, it read. There was no explanation, no detailed plans, just a vague announcement that left more questions than answers. His puzzled family watched Stuart drive away, his car disappearing into the distance, taking with it a part of their lives that would never return. The drive to Yellowstone National Park was long and solitary. For 32 hours, Stuart traversed highways and back roads, passing through landscapes that contrasted starkly with his suburban life. The scenic beauty of Yellowstone awaited him, but his mind was clouded, lost in a maze of thoughts that no one else could navigate. Upon his arrival at Yellowstone, the vast wilderness greeted him. Majestic geysers, towering mountains, and sprawling forests, the park was a testament to nature's grandeur. For many, Yellowstone was a place of escape, an oasis of tranquility. For Stuart, it felt different. The park's expanse mirrored the vastness of his unspoken thoughts. September 24th brought a peculiar turn. Stuart called an old high school friend, Matsu, living far away in Guam. They hadn't spoken in years, but here he was, reaching out in the early hours, his voice carrying a weight that words could not convey. They spoke for 2 hours, but the content of that conversation remained a mystery, a private exchange lost in the echoes of the park. 2 days later, on September 26th, Stuart's journey took an inexplicable turn. His car was found at Craig Pass, an isolated spot in the park known for its elevation and lack of trails. The car was abandoned, unlocked, with keys still in the ignition, as if Stuart had stepped out for a moment and vanished into the wilderness. Back in Maryland, Stuart's family grappled with his sudden absence. Confusion and worry gnawed at them as days turned into weeks, with no word from him. The home that once resonated with his presence now echoed with his absence. An extensive search ensued, combing through the rugged terrain of Yellowstone, but no trace of Stuart was found. The man who had left Burtonsville searching for something undefinable had disappeared, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. The mystery of Stuart Isaac's disappearance lingered in the years that followed. His family, friends, and even strangers who heard of his story pondered over the unanswered questions. What drove a seemingly content man to embark on a journey without return? What did he seek in the vastness of Yellowstone? Like Stuart himself, the answers remained elusive, lost in the whispering winds of the park's endless forests. Hun-ro, a 70-year-old retiree, found himself grappling with the boredom and loneliness that often accompany retirement. With his children all grown and living their own lives, and none of them nearby to provide companionship, Hun-ro felt adrift in a sea of idle days. As he contemplated the idea of finding a menial job to fill his time, a friend intervened, urging him to reconsider. After all, Hun-ro had spent a lifetime working hard to provide for his family, and now it was time for him to enjoy the fruits of his labor. Indeed, Hun-ro's children had all been educated thanks to his sacrifices, and they ensured that their father lacked for nothing in his retirement. Despite the physical distance separating them, they made sure to support him financially, sending money to his bank account without fail. Yet despite their efforts to provide for him, Hun-ro couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness that lingered in his heart. It was during one of his visits to Yellowstone National Park, accompanied by his friend Charlie, that Hun-ro's outlook began to change. Charlie, ever the adventurous spirit, exposed him to the vibrant life and breathtaking beauty of the park, opening his eyes to a world of possibilities beyond the confines of his own home. The pair found solace and joy in the serene landscapes and colorful waters of Yellowstone, their bond growing stronger with each visit. Even when Charlie wasn't available to accompany him, Hun-ro found himself drawn back to the park, seeking refuge and rejuvenation amidst nature's splendor. For Hun-ro, Yellowstone became more than just a destination. It became a sanctuary, a place where he could escape the monotony of everyday life and rediscover the joy of living. Whether he was exploring the winding trails or simply sitting by the tranquil lake shores, Hun-ro found peace and contentment in the natural world around him. On a seemingly ordinary Saturday, Hun-ro found himself drawn once again to the allure of Yellowstone National Park. Despite his friend Charlie's inability to join him, Hun-ro embarked on the journey alone, seeking solace and serenity amidst the natural beauty that surrounded him. Making his way to the hot springs, Hun-ro relished the tranquility of the landscape, the bubbling waters offering a soothing respite from the cares of the world. Hours passed in blissful solitude until the tranquility was shattered by the frantic cries of a tourist. Rushing to the scene, park guides were met with a chilling discovery: a human leg protruding from the surface of the lake. As they followed the tourist's lead, they made a grim realization: the lifeless body of Hun-ro, floating in the water, his fate sealed by unknown circumstances. Unaccompanied and unidentified, Hun-ro's death remained a mystery in the days that followed. It wasn't until 3 months later that his family received the devastating news, their grief compounded by the uncertainty surrounding his final moments. The discovery of his foot, encased in a shoe, floating in the hot spring, only deepened the mystery surrounding his death. With no witnesses to shed light on the events that transpired, investigators were left grasping for answers, their efforts thwarted by a lack of evidence. While some speculated that he may have accidentally fallen into the spring and been unable to escape, others remained skeptical, questioning the circumstances surrounding his untimely demise. Despite their best efforts, the National Park Service concluded its investigation, opting not to share any additional information with the public. For the grieving family of Hunro, the news of his tragic death sent shockwaves through their lives, leaving them grappling with the pain of loss and the unanswered questions that lingered in its wake. With heavy hearts, they traveled to Wyoming to lay their beloved father to rest, honoring his memory with a dignified and heartfelt farewell. As they gathered to mourn and remember the man who had touched their lives in countless ways, they found solace in the cherished memories they shared. Though his death may remain shrouded in mystery, the love and legacy of Hunro would endure as a beacon of light in the darkness of their grief. A sad tale unfolded in Yellowstone National Park, where nature's beauty often reveals mysteries. In September 2018, Wyoming echoed the news of the missing brothers. Kim Crumbo from Ogden, Utah, and his brother Mark O'Neill from Chimacum, Washington, embarked on a 4-night backcountry trip to Shoshone Lake. Little did they know the wilderness they sought to conquer would become the stage for a heart-wrenching saga. Both brothers worked as professional river guides. Kim Crumbo spent 20 years with the National Park Service as a Grand Canyon National Park park ranger. He was a resource management specialist, wilderness coordinator, and a former Navy SEAL from Ogden. On Sunday, September 19th, a family member reported the overdue brothers, triggering a search that would grip the park for weeks. The search crew scoured the trails, shores, and open waters, hoping to find a trace of the missing duo. The once tranquil Shoshone Lake now whispered secrets of uncertainty. As days passed, hope dwindled. On Monday, September 20th, the search crew made a grim discovery. Mark O'Neill's lifeless body lay on the east shore of Shoshone Lake. The cause of death, exposure or hypothermia, sent shockwaves through the park, marking the first tragic chapter of the wilderness tale. With one brother found, the search shifted focus to the still missing Kim Crumbo. The National Park Service's Submerged Resources Center employed sonar equipment, and park crews tirelessly combed the area by foot and boat. Assistance came from Grand Teton National Park's interagency helicopter and dedicated dog teams from Western Montana search dogs. Despite 5 days of exhaustive efforts, the wilderness held on to its secrets. On September 24th, the search transitioned from rescue to recovery. Sonar equipment now delved into the depths of the lake, seeking clues that might lead to Kim Crumbo. The park, in a sad acknowledgement, prepared for the possibility that the wilderness might not yield its final secret easily. As the recovery efforts continued, the incident remained under investigation. The park's officials, bound by the unfolding tragedy, could only offer limited information. The specifics of the investigation were shrouded in the wilderness's enigma, leaving questions unanswered and the families uncertain. The saga of Kim Crumbo's disappearance in the wild embraced uncertainty. Yellowstone, a haven for natural wonders, now held within its borders a story of loss, resilience, and unanswered questions. Fueled by dedication, the park's search and rescue teams continued their quest, hoping to bring closure to a tale that unfolded in the heart of the untamed wilderness. As the echoes of Shoshone Lake's waves whispered through the landscape, the fate of Kim Crumbo remained uncertain, leaving a poignant mark on the park's history, where beauty and mystery often walked hand in hand. No one knew that a professional river guide and Navy SEAL would meet his fate like this and would be forever lost in the cruel waters.
In the sprawling expanse of Yellowstone National Park, where nature's grandeur unfolds in every direction, a family embarked on a journey that was supposed to be a memorable escape into the wilderness and wonder. Lori Vallow, a mother with deep eyes that held stories untold, planned this adventure to bond and create lasting memories with her children, 17-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old J.J. Vallow. Their uncle, Alex Cox, joined them, bringing the group an air of protection and camaraderie. September 8, 2019, dawned a bright and clear day that promised laughter and lighthearted explorations. With her passion for photography, Tylee was eager to capture the park's stunning vistas, while JJ's youthful energy was boundless, his excitement palpable in the crisp morning air. As they ventured into the heart of Yellowstone, each moment was a snapshot of joy, each photograph a treasure to be cherished. But beneath the surface of this idyllic day lay undercurrents of mystery and turbulence from Lori's past. A complex web of beliefs and a new marriage to Chad Daybell whispered secrets and shadows. But on this day, the beauty of Yellowstone seemed to hold those shadows at bay. As the day unfolded, the family immersed themselves in the park's natural splendor. The geysers' mist, the rugged landscapes, and the serene beauty of the forests were their playground, where worries seemed distant and the family bond felt unbreakable. Yet as the afternoon shadows began to lengthen, a subtle shift occurred, a momentary lapse that would become the pivot upon which their world would turn. The last photographs of Tylee, taken in the vibrant setting of Yellowstone, captured her smile, a fleeting moment frozen in time, unbeknownst to them, marking the threshold of the unknown. JJ, with his infectious laugh, remained by his sister's side, their connection evident in every frame. These images would later emerge as poignant echoes of a day that began with promise and ended in an unfathomable silence. As the day waned, the family's return to their everyday world was tinged with unease. JJ was last seen on September 23rd, a sudden absence that sent ripples of concern through the family and beyond. The decision to homeschool him marked the beginning of a disappearance that defied explanation, a void where once there was laughter and life. The ensuing investigation peeled back the layers of Lori's life, revealing a tapestry woven with strands of doomsday beliefs and the shadow of deaths that seemed to follow in their wake. The tranquil beauty of Yellowstone now bore the weight of unanswered questions, and the last photographs of Tylee are a haunting reminder of what was lost. As authorities delved deeper, the narrative became more convoluted, with the deaths of Lori and Chad's previous spouses casting a pall over their story. Each revelation added depth to the mystery, making the search for Tylee and JJ into a quest for truth amid a labyrinth of deceit. Yellowstone, with its majestic beauty and untamed wilderness, became the backdrop for a story transcending the bounds of an ordinary disappearance. In this place where nature's power is manifest, it was here that the last moments of a family's togetherness were captured, now shrouded in the shadow of the unknown. As the seasons change and the park continues to beckon adventurers and dreamers, the story of Tylee and JJ remains a whisper among the pines, a tale of joy eclipsed by mystery. Their laughter, once vibrant in the crisp air of Yellowstone, now echoes with the poignant reminder of their absence, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and a family's heart-rending quest for closure. In the heart of Yellowstone, where the natural world unfolds in all its majesty, the memory of that September day lingers, a testament to the fragile thread that connects us all and the enduring hope for answers in the face of the unfathomable. As the search for truth continues, the story of a day that began with the promise of adventure and ended in silence unfolds, a narrative of love, loss, and the unyielding pursuit of closure in the vast wilderness of the unknown.
On a brisk spring morning in 1991, Daniel Campbell, known to his friends as Dan, found himself at a crossroads in life. A 42-year-old resident of Big Timber, Montana, Dan had the rugged, weathered look of a man accustomed to the outdoors. His life, marked by a series of unwise choices, had led him to a moment of desperate decision-making. Financially strained and seeking a way out, he turned to the wilderness he knew so well for a solution. Though fraught with legal risks, Dan's plan seemed straightforward. He would venture into Yellowstone National Park to hunt for elk antlers. Despite the illegality of this act in the park, Dan, an experienced outdoorsman with notable survival skills, felt confident in his abilities. He had previously marked a trail through the challenging terrain of the Hell Roaring Trail area, intending to return and collect the valuable antlers. April 6th dawned with the promise of adventure as Dan set off from the hell-roaring trailhead, accompanied by his loyal Australian shepherd, Freckles, and carrying a backpack filled with supplies for their 2-day hike. He felt a familiar thrill. The plan was to hike from Hell Roaring to Jardine, Montana, picking up the hidden antlers. His girlfriend was to meet him in Jardine on April 8th, a detail that underscored the precise nature of his plan. The Hell Roaring Trail was a path less traveled, a place where the wild heart of Yellowstone beat strongest. As Dan and Freckles embarked on their journey, the landscape unfolded in rugged splendor. Towering trees, the distant peaks, and the untamed rivers formed a backdrop that had always felt like home to Dan. However, unknown to Dan, his venture coincided with a sudden and severe spring snowstorm, transforming the landscape into a treacherous maze. The wilderness he knew so well became an unforgiving expanse, obscuring paths and landmarks under a blanket of white. When April 8th arrived and Dan did not appear in Jardine, concern quickly escalated into alarm. His girlfriend, fraught with worry, reported him missing, triggering a search operation that would soon reveal the complex layers of Dan's journey. The discovery that he had been antler hunting added a layer of urgency and illegality to the search. Well aware of the risks associated with this illicit activity, park rangers and law enforcement intensified their efforts. Days turned into weeks, and the extensive search by ground teams and air support yielded no trace of Dan or Freckles. The vast expanse of Yellowstone, coupled with the inclement weather, made the search daunting. The puzzling absence of any sign of Dan or his belongings deepened the mystery. Dan's family, particularly his 3 brothers, became increasingly involved in the search, their concern growing into frustration as days passed without any leads. The lack of evidence, the unanswered questions about the gunshots heard by other hikers, and the discovery of a suspicious campsite only added layers of complexity to the case. The possibility of foul play began to take root in the minds of Dan's loved ones. The untested confiscated camping gear, the ammunition, and the rumors of altercations in the woods all pointed to a narrative far more sinister than a mere disappearance. Yet without concrete evidence, law enforcement maintained the classification of the case as a missing person. Years passed, and the mystery of Dan Campbell's disappearance remained unsolved, leaving a lingering sense of loss and unresolved questions. The rugged trails of Yellowstone held their secrets close, and for Dan's family, the ache of not knowing what happened on that fateful spring day in 1991 endured. In the heart of Yellowstone, where the Hell-Roaring Creek meets the Yellowstone River, the forest silence seemed to echo with the untold story of Dan Campbell and Freckles. Their tale of adventure turned tragedy became a haunting reminder of nature's unpredictability and the profound impact of a single decision. In the vast American landscape, 22-year-old Gabby Petito embarked on a road trip with her 23-year-old boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. The journey promised adventure and discovery, but it took a chilling turn when Gabby ceased contact with her family in August 2021. Amid the unknown trails and open roads, Brian Laundrie became a person of interest as the haunting silence surrounded Gabby's disappearance. He vanished without a trace, setting off an intense search by the FBI and Florida police in a sprawling nature reserve. Gabby's last connection with her family echoed from the picturesque Grand Teton National Park on August 25th. A realm of natural beauty, it soon became the focal point of a mystery that would captivate the nation. As the search unfolded, a peculiar aspect of the Yellowstone National Park region reignited discussions about the infamous Zone of Death. A legal anomaly, this 80-kilometer strip of land straddling Idaho and Wyoming presented a challenge for law enforcement. A glitch in the Constitution rendered it difficult to police, leaving a theoretical haven for criminals. Michigan State University law professor Brian Kalt's 2005 academic paper, The Perfect Crime, highlighted the legal problem. In this zone, spanning both states, felonies might be committed with impunity due to jurisdictional complexities. The clash of Idaho and Wyoming, a constitutional enigma, posed a unique challenge to justice. The Sixth Amendment demanded criminal prosecutions within the state and district where the crime occurred. Yet the zone's peculiar legal status made summoning a jury nearly impossible, creating a potential loophole for those seeking to evade justice. Against this backdrop, the search for Gabby Petito intensified. National Park rangers combed through Grand Teton, deploying elite search and rescue units to unravel the mystery concealed within the vast wilderness. Gabby's final text message warned of Yosemite National Park's impending lack of phone service, adding an eerie note to her journey. Days later, her van surfaced in Florida and raising more questions than answers. As investigators delved into the Florida wilderness, Brian Laundrie's potential whereabouts became a focal point. The Mabry-Carlton Reserve, a sprawling 25,000-acre habitat, drew attention as reports surfaced that he could be concealed within its depths. FBI agents and local police meticulously combed through the reserve, prompted by Laundrie's family suggesting he might have entered the area. The search unfolded against the backdrop of a picturesque road trip documented on Instagram, capturing the idyllic moments of their journey across the U.S. However, the narrative turned sinister as more than 2 weeks passed since Brian Laundrie returned to his Florida home alone, leaving unanswered questions and an unsettling void. Gabby's family, growing increasingly concerned, filed a missing person report on September 11th. As the story unfolded, the Northport police faced a complex scenario. Brian Laundrie's parents, claiming not to have seen their son since Tuesday, contacted the FBI. Though Laundrie was a person of interest, he was not yet wanted for a crime, adding a layer of complexity to the evolving situation. Amidst the twists and turns of this unfolding tale, the road trip that once symbolized adventure and romance transformed into a mystery, shrouded in the vast landscapes of the American West. As the haunting mystery of Gabby Petito's disappearance lingers, the search for answers has intensified. Despite relentless efforts, no significant clues have emerged to unveil Gabby's whereabouts. Adding complexity to the puzzle, her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, has mysteriously escaped from his home, deepening the case's intrigue. Yellowstone National Park is famous for its geological significance. The park is a hotspot for wildlife lovers, offering the chance to witness diverse species such as grizzly bears, wolves, and herds of bison in their natural habitat. The park's expansive landscapes showcase dramatic canyons, alpine rivers, and pristine lakes, contributing to its status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This story took place inside the vast boundaries of Yellowstone National Park. On an ordinary day in Teton Village, September 19, 2009, Catherine Ann Major, a 53-year-old woman, vanished without a trace. Her story is full of mystery, puzzling investigators and online detectives alike. This story revolves around the events around Catherine's disappearance, trying to make sense of the pieces of this intense cold case. In the quiet corners of Catherine's life, her love revolved around 2 children and 2 cherished cats. On that fateful day, September 18, 2009, Catherine found herself at the elegant Four Seasons Resort in Teton Village, Wyoming. Little did she know that this visit would change the course of her story. Caught in the watchful eyes of surveillance cameras, Catherine was captured stealing a master key to the spa and pilfering belongings worth $714 from the resort. It was a puzzling act. Catherine had money, yet she chose to steal. The reasons behind her actions remained a mystery as she was apprehended, adding an unexpected twist to the chapters of her life. As the clock ticked away on the afternoon of September 19th, the resort's authorities knocked on Catherine's room door. Confronted with the weight of the allegations, Catherine faced a pivotal moment. In an unexpected turn, she agreed to settle the dispute by paying the contested amount. In a gesture of leniency, the resort pledged not to press charges, but on one condition: she had to leave the resort immediately. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Catherine committed to the deal, and assured the officers that she wouldn't engage in further misconduct. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, security returned to Catherine's room an hour later. The time was 4 p.m., and the air was filled with uncertainty. To their surprise, Catherine was nowhere to be found. The room, however, held traces of her presence, with most of her belongings scattered in silent testimony. The mystery deepened as the shadows of that September day concealed Catherine's whereabouts, leaving investigators with unanswered questions. In the shadow of Teton Village's towering peaks, Catherine Major's mysterious departure left more questions than answers. Leaving behind a note that echoed concern for her cats, she entrusted their care to unknown hands. As the sun dipped below the horizon, her car stood silent in the hotel parking lot, a testament to the mystery that shrouded her sudden disappearance. She may have booked a taxi or used public transport to go. When Catherine vanished without a trace, her sister rushed in from California, determined to unravel the mystery. Together, they enlisted the help of specialized search dogs, hoping to follow the scent of the enigma surrounding Catherine's disappearance. Authorities, too, joined the relentless search, scouring the familiar haunts of Snake River, the looming mountains, and the echoing caverns popular among hikers. The search echoed with the barks of determined search dogs and the worried whispers of a family desperate for answers. Despite the exhaustive efforts, no sign of Catherine emerged, leaving the mountains and caverns silent witnesses to the unanswered questions in the air. In their quest for resolution, Catherine's family turned to digital platforms, filing missing reports on numerous online platforms. Yet as the years passed, the mystery persisted, shrouding Catherine's fate in unimaginable suspense. The question of whether she was alive or had succumbed to an unknown fate lingered, casting a somber shadow over the unanswered chapters of her life. The story started with a chilling discovery in Yellowstone National Park. A laptop and handcrafted poems whispered tales of a missing soul from the bustling streets of Los Angeles. This haunting narrative unfolds months after a sad incident. A lone foot found adrift in the warm embrace of a hot spring, a mere stone's throw away. As the riddles of this mysterious saga began to unravel, Yellowstone's authorities unveiled the identity of the foot's owner. In a sad Thursday statement, officials revealed the foot belonged to Il Hun Ro, a 70-year-old soul from the sun-kissed landscapes of Los Angeles, California. Clad within the confines of a shoe, Ro's foot was initially discovered by vigilant park staff in the crisp August air. Yellowstone's law guardians embarked on a quest for truth, launching an investigation culminating in the past 3 weeks with a positive DNA identification. A park visitor initially noticed the 70-year-old man's black shoe floating on the surface of the Abyss pool on August 16. When the patrolling ranger saw a bone sticking out of the saved shoes, he was horrified and quickly roped off the area. He walked around, making sure everything was okay. Suddenly, he spotted a lone car, a Kia Niro SUV, left unattended. Whose car could it be? It belonged to Il Hun Ro from Los Angeles. Curiosity was piqued, and investigators checked inside. They found a laptop, a wallet with his driver's license, and $447, a photo album, and notebooks filled with poems written in a language that intrigued them. The mystery of Il Hun Ro's belongings left in the car unfolded before their eyes. Hidden within the report were mysterious poems, their words veiled in a foreign language that intrigued investigators. With anticipation, they turned to Google Translate, hoping to unravel the enigma. However, the digital translation revealed no traces of a suicide note, leaving the investigators puzzled. All names and identifying details were carefully erased from the document to protect privacy, adding an air of secrecy to the unfolding story. The plot thickened as officials shared their findings, narrating an unwitnessed incident on the fateful morning of July 31, 2022, at the enigmatic Abyss pool. Yet the shadows of uncertainty cast a veil over Ro's demise. with officials acknowledging a lack of evidence to illuminate the circumstances surrounding his untimely end. Roe's family, nestled in the sorrowful chapters of this tale, received the poignant revelations. The discovery of the foot prompted a temporary closure of the West Thumb Geyser Basin, and a poignant caution echoed through the park, a reminder to visitors to tread cautiously on boardwalks and trails in thermal realms, where the earth hides its fragility beneath, concealing scalding waters just beneath the surface. In a November announcement, the National Park Service shared a revelation. The foot discovered had a match in Roe's DNA. Detectives, in their pursuit of answers, received a DNA sample from a family member of the missing man. Wyoming State Laboratory conducted the crucial tests, unveiling a significant connection between the foot's DNA and the family's genetic code. The chances of error were minuscule, exceeding 1 in 15 million, affirming the link and shedding light on the mysterious case. As the narrative delves into the depths, the Abyss Pool, with its mysterious 50-foot abyss, guards secrets beneath its surface, where temperatures soar to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, adding a touch of chilling mystery to the tapestry of Yellowstone's tales. A tale of mystery began to unfold in Wyoming, where vast landscapes grow in the embrace of nature. LaKayla Shea Putnick, a 14-year-old girl from Charleston, West Virginia, put herself in the middle of a dangerous journey that would capture the attention of those seeking answers. Yellowstone National Park, a world of awe-inspiring wonders, stood as a backdrop to Shea's peculiar adventure. The park, known for its geothermal wonders, majestic wildlife, and breathtaking landscapes, was the canvas for the unfolding story. Shea's story turned unexpectedly in the bubbling geysers and serene wilderness. Temporarily placed with a foster family in Wyoming, Shea's life took an unsettling twist on August 7, 2018. In the vast expanse of Yellowstone National Park, she made a decision that left her family and authorities concerned. Without a trace, she departed from her foster family, setting in motion a series of events that would baffle those attempting to make sense of her mysterious disappearance. The Kanawha County Sheriff's Office received an intriguing tip from a park visitor. A witness claimed to have seen Shea holding a sign, a cryptic message that hinted at her intentions. The sign boldly declared her desire to reach Denver. The motive behind Shea's journey remained shrouded in mystery, adding a layer of complexity to the unfolding narrative. No one knew why she wanted to go to Denver. Her foster family was also unaware of this visit. Days passed at average speed, and there was no clue of Shea. Neither the family nor authorities received any communication from the adventurous teenager. The wilderness of Yellowstone held its secrets, and Shea seemed to have become one with the park's enigmatic allure. As investigators delved into Shea's background, they found connections to distant lands: North Charleston, West Virginia, Fort Walton, Florida, Billings, Montana, and Denver. These connections painted a portrait of a teenager whose roots spanned across the vast American landscape. Each location held a piece of Shea's past, and the mystery deepened as the search expanded to encompass these diverse corners of the country. Why did Shea embark on this journey? What prompted a 14-year-old girl to go to Denver as her elusive destination? These questions raised concerns, echoing through the corridors of the sheriff's office and the minds of Shea's worried family members. Yellowstone National Park, known for its natural wonders, stood a silent witness of this secret. Amidst the geysers and mountains of Yellowstone, search and rescue teams continued on a search to unravel the mystery. The picturesque landscapes, once a source of tranquility, now echoed with the urgency of a community searching for one of its own. Helicopters soared above, and foot searchers combed through the dense vegetation, hoping to find a clue leading them to Shea. Despite all efforts, she wasn't found. The reasons behind Shea's decision, the significance of her ties to different places, and the mystery of her destination remained unanswered, leaving those following the saga in suspense. However, years later, there was a Facebook post from the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office. The post shed light on Shea's return. According to the Post, Shay returned several months ago. When, how, and with whom? These questions were still unanswered. In the expanse of Yellowstone, where high mountains whisper tales of the past, the story of Shay and her unclear disappearance and return unfolded like a suspenseful novel. A teenager's disappearance, a cryptic sign, and the vast landscapes of America intertwined to create a narrative that would be etched in the annals of Yellowstone's rich history.
In the sprawling wilds of Yellowstone National Park, where nature's grandeur unfolds at every turn, a family's idyllic vacation turned into a heart-wrenching mystery that has lingered for decades. On a crisp spring day in 1966, the Johnson family, hailing from Inyokern, California, embarked on what was supposed to be a memorable family outing amidst the breathtaking landscapes of Yellowstone. Little did they know their lives were about to change forever. Dennis Eugene Johnson, an adventurous and spirited 8-year-old, was the heartbeat of the Johnson family. With his sandy blonde hair gleaming under the sun and a curiosity as vast as the park itself, Dennis embodied the joy and innocence of childhood. The family, consisting of his mother Betty, father William, and 3 sisters, Doreen, Mary, and Diane, had chosen the Cascade Picnic area, just north of Canyon Junction, as their haven for the day. The picnic spot, surrounded by towering pines and the musical sounds of nature, was the perfect backdrop for their family bonding. The day, April 12th, unfolded with laughter and the sharing of stories as the family settled in for their picnic. However, at around 1:30 p.m., a moment of panic disrupted the tranquility. Mary, Dennis's 7-year-old sister, had wandered off from the picnic area, her absence sending waves of concern through the family. In a split-second decision, Dennis and his father, William, decided to search for Mary, splitting up to cover more ground. Dennis, despite his young age, was no stranger to the outdoors. Having accompanied his father on numerous hunting trips, he had been imbued with basic survival skills and an understanding of the wilderness. Confident in navigating the park, Dennis decided to find his sister. His father, reassured by Dennis's competence, focused his search in the opposite direction. As fate would have it, Mary was soon found by another park visitor and safely taken to a ranger station, where she was reunited with her father. However, as the sun descended, casting long shadows over the park, a chilling realization set in. Dennis had not returned. The ensuing search for Dennis Johnson was monumental. Over the course of 2 weeks, more than 50 volunteers, park officials, and members of the sheriff's department combed the area. Helicopters with loudspeakers circled overhead, while searchers with binoculars scanned the ridgelines and cliff faces. Bloodhounds from Montana State Prison were brought in, but the rugged terrain offered no clues, no tracks, not even the faintest sign of Dennis. The family's anguish was palpable as they clung to hope with each passing day. The search operation, which cost $14,000, a staggering amount for 1966, was a testament to the desperation and determination to find Dennis. Yet as the days turned into weeks, hope began to wane, and the family faced the heart-wrenching decision to leave Yellowstone without their beloved Dennis. Dennis's disappearance remains one of Yellowstone's greatest mysteries. Speculations have abounded over the years, from theories of abduction to the possibility of Dennis becoming lost or injured in the unforgiving wilderness. Despite the passage of time, the question of what happened to Dennis Eugene Johnson on that fateful day in 1966 continues to haunt those who remember him. The Johnson family's ordeal is a poignant reminder of life's unpredictable nature and our existence's fragility. Dennis's story, etched in the annals of Yellowstone's history, is a solemn tribute to the spirited young boy who ventured into the park one spring day and never returned. As the years have passed, the memory of Dennis, with his bright smile and adventurous spirit, continues to resonate, a sad echo amidst the beauty and majesty of Yellowstone National Park.
Our story started in West Virginia's hills, where a young girl named LaKayla Shea Putnick lived. She was 14, with brown hair that danced in the wind and brown eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Shea had been in the care of the West Virginia Child Protective Services, a guardian watching over her well-being. One day, the course of Shea's life took an unforeseen turn. The Child Protective Services decided to place her temporarily with a foster family in the vast landscapes of Wyoming. The Foster family, kind-hearted and hopeful, embraced Shay into their fold. Was their kindness genuine, though? As the summer sun painted the skies, Shay found herself on an adventure with her foster family to Yellowstone National Park. The majestic mountains, the bubbling natural geysers, and the wild beauty of nature surrounded them. Little did they know that this pleasing trip would become the setting for an unforeseen chapter. On August 7, 2018, Shay, with her heart full of wanderlust, decided to change the course of her journey. During their visit to Yellowstone, she left her foster family, the safety net that had momentarily cradled her dreams. The reasons behind her departure were known only to her, leaving a cloud of uncertainty. The news of Shay's disappearance echoed through the corridors of Kanawha County Sheriff's Department. They became the investigators, unraveling the mystery of a missing girl. As days turned into nights, Shay's absence cast a shadow over the picturesque wilderness of Yellowstone. No contact was made. No words reached the ears of family or authorities. It was as if Shay had become a fleeting whisper in the vastness of the national park, leaving everyone with unanswered questions. The Sheriff's Department, armed with concern and determination, dug into the puzzle of Shay's whereabouts. They discovered that Shay had ties not only to the wild terrains of Wyoming, but also to the city lights of Billings, Montana. Her connections spread like threads across the states: Wyoming, Colorado, West Virginia, and even reaching the sunny shores of Florida. The description of Shay painted a vivid picture for those searching for her. She stood at 5 foot 4 inches, a silhouette against the backdrop of diverse landscapes. Her brown hair framed a face that had witnessed both the challenges and joys of 14 years, while her brown eyes held the secrets of a soul on a journey of self-discovery. Shay's physical presence weighed approximately 130 pounds, a detail that had become a crucial marker for those hoping to find her. Days turned into weeks, and the search continued. The story of Shay unfolded across state lines, a tale of a missing girl with a past guarded by the West Virginia Child Protective Services, a present intertwined with a Wyoming foster family, and a future that remained uncertain. The people involved in Shay's story, her foster family, the law enforcement officers, and the community, held on to hope. The vastness of Yellowstone National Park, once a symbol of adventure, now became a daunting landscape echoing the silence of a missing presence. Still, after a lengthy investigation and search, Shay needed help. Her sudden disappearance left so many questions. Some questions were asked about the kindness and sincerity of the foster family. Were they properly taking care of her? Were there any disputes between Shay and her foster family? But these questions remain unanswered, as Shay never returned. No one knew what happened to her. And so the pages of Shay's story turned with each passing day, a narrative waiting for resolution, a conclusion to the mystery that unfolded in the heart of the wilderness. Yellowstone National Park, renowned for its natural beauty and abundant wildlife, attracts visitors from all corners of the United States, especially during long weekends. However, with the influx of newcomers, there comes a risk of ignorance or disregard for the park's rules and guidelines, particularly regarding interactions with wildlife. On Memorial Day of 2022, this risk became a stark reality when a woman in her 20s found herself in a harrowing encounter with a bison. Park authorities have long emphasized the need for visitors to maintain a safe distance from wildlife and to refrain from approaching or attempting to interact with them. Despite these warnings, incidents like the one on Memorial Day underscore the consequences of disregarding these guidelines. The journey of the 25-year-old woman from Grove City, Ohio, to the awe-inspiring landscapes of Yellowstone National Park began with the innocent desire to immerse herself in the beauty of nature. Little did she anticipate that her adventure would take a perilous turn, forever altering the course of her narrative. On a serene Monday morning, as she ventured along the wooden boardwalk near the Black Sand Basin, her path intersected that of a bison, a formidable creature that embodies the untamed spirit of the American West. In a fleeting moment of curiosity, or perhaps obliviousness to the inherent danger, she approached the bison, unknowingly triggering a chain of events that would culminate in a terrifying confrontation. The bison, sensing a potential threat to its territory, reacted with instinctual aggression, unleashing its formidable strength upon the unsuspecting woman. The force of the attack sent her hurtling through the air, a shocking testament to the power and ferocity of the wild animal. The consequences of the encounter were dire, as the woman suffered grievous injuries, including a puncture wound inflicted by the bison's powerful horns. In the aftermath of the attack, first responders swiftly arrived at the scene, their timely intervention proving crucial in stabilizing her condition and ensuring her survival. With the utmost urgency, the woman was transported to Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center, where a team of medical professionals worked tirelessly to provide her with the care and treatment she so desperately needed. As news of the incident spread, conflicting reports regarding the woman's fate emerged, with some prematurely declaring her death. However, it is imperative to exercise caution and refrain from speculation until official confirmation is provided by the relevant authorities. In the meantime, the incident serves as a sobering reminder of the inherent dangers that accompany interactions with wildlife in Yellowstone National Park and other natural environments. While these majestic landscapes offer unparalleled opportunities for exploration and discovery, they also demand a profound respect for the delicate balance between humans and wildlife. As the investigation into the incident continues, it is incumbent upon all visitors to Yellowstone and other wilderness areas to exercise caution, adhere to park regulations, and prioritize their safety and the well-being of the natural world. Only through responsible stewardship and vigilant awareness can we ensure that future generations continue to enjoy the splendor of these cherished landscapes without risking harm or injury. Our story begins in the vast and majestic Yellowstone National Park, surrounded by rocky mountains and flowing rivers. The park was a place coordinated with wildlife and adventure. Inside the beautiful Yellowstone National Park, Darian Laddie served as a park ranger in Roosevelt Lodge. Hailing from the quiet community of Demarest in northeastern Georgia, Darian was on a thrilling summer escapade as a seasonal employee at the lodge. On August 11, 2014, Darian and two fellow Yellowstone National Park concessionaire colleagues went on an unusual adventure. They were holding inner tubes in their hands. They planned to float down the calm Lamar River, surrounded by the captivating beauty of bison and the excitement of late summer anglers. When they started their float in Lamar River, they didn't prefer to use inner tubes as the water was very calm and there was no need for the tubes. However, the pace of their float took an unexpected turn as they entered the confluence of Lamar and Yellowstone rivers, still raging with high and fast waters. Sensing danger, they promptly left the river, but Darian did not follow suit. When Darian saw the confluence of strong and angry waves, he regretted his decision not to use the inner tube. The situation worsened as he was also not wearing the life jacket. Without the inner tube and lacking a life jacket, he was last seen at 7:30 p.m. on that unfortunate Monday, helplessly propelled downstream by the rushing waters. The trio had gone against the rules by venturing into the forbidden activity of floating the river. The authorities were now faced with the pressing concern of finding young Darian, who had become a victim of the ferocity of the mighty Yellowstone River. As the news of Darian's disappearance spread like wildfire, a quick and efficient search effort started on that Monday evening. Over 50 individuals, including search and rescue teams with a helicopter, 3 dog teams, and groups of foot searchers, dedicated themselves to unraveling the mystery of Darian's whereabouts. During this search, a sense of desperation fell upon everyone under the expansive skies of Yellowstone National Park. The searchers faced difficulties because of the Yellowstone River's extreme environment and erratic behavior. Every step was a reflection of their mutual commitment to finish the search. The helicopter blades slashed through the air, throwing shadows across the ground. It was a symbol of hope in the mystery of Darian's absence. As night fell, the search became more intense, and the combined efforts of multiple teams created an image of devotion. With their sharp senses tuned to any hint, the 3 dog teams searched the park, bringing expertise to the hunt. Searchers on foot navigated the park's varied habitat, walking through deep forests and along riverbanks, looking for any indications of the missing individual. The authorities were united in the attempt to locate Darian and reveal the truth shrouded inside the broad boundaries of Yellowstone National Park, as evidenced by the coordinated efforts of everybody involved. Days passed, and the suspense heightened as late on Friday, August 15, 2014, searchers glimpsed what seemed to be a submerged body pinned to a large rock in a rugged section of the Yellowstone River. The discovery was approximately a quarter-mile downstream from Darian's last sighting. The body was found, however, it was not possible to get to the body because of the ferocity of the river. The search took a decisive turn on Saturday when a swiftwater rescue team from Gallatin County, Montana, joined the team. Along with kayaks and a raft anchored to both riverbanks, they navigated the treacherous waters to dislodge and recover Darian's lifeless body. The remote area posed challenges, but a helicopter proved instrumental in removing his body from this inaccessible terrain. That Saturday evening, the sad task of identification fell to the coroner. For days, the gripping mystery of Yellowstone National Park was resolved, but Darian Laddie's ill-fated journey remained a cautionary story. In the center of the gorgeous national park, where the Lamar River Valley echoes with the whispers of wildlife, the memory of Darian's adventurous spirit became a part of the park's history. The authorities reinforced the importance of adhering to safety guidelines, turning Darian's tragic tale into a cautionary reminder for all who love exploring nature's untamed beauty. The story also describes the importance of obeying the orders and rules issued by the authorities. The authorities know better how to manage the safety of people and wildlife. The employees must follow guidelines and precautions.
In the heart of Idaho's sprawling landscapes, nestled within the bounds of Lemhi County, lies a tale that has puzzled minds and broken hearts. This story begins in the summer of 2015 in the serene yet unforgiving wilderness of Timber Creek Campground. A family's dream of peacefully retreating into nature became an enduring nightmare. The Coons family, eager for an escape from the daily grind, set off on a camping trip that was meant to be a memorable adventure. Little did they know it would become memorable for all the wrong reasons. Among them was 2-year-old Dior Coons Jr., a boy with a sparkle in his eye and an innocent curiosity about the world around him. The group was an assembly of generations and acquaintances: Vernal Dior Coons, the doting father; Jessica Mitchell, his girlfriend and Dior's mother; Robert Walton, Dior's great-grandfather; and Isaac Reinwand, a friend of Walton's. They were a makeshift family unit tied together by the little boy they all adored. Their journey to Timber Creek Campground was filled with laughter and anticipation. Upon arrival, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they set up their campsite. Dior, with his tiny hands, helped his parents with tasks, his laughter echoing through the trees. That night, under a blanket of stars, the family went to sleep, unaware that their world was about to change forever. The following day, July 10th, 2015, started like any other camping day. The sun rose, casting its warm glow on the faces of our campers, but as the afternoon approached, a brief moment of distraction fragmented the group. Jessica and Vernal decided to explore the surroundings, leaving Dior in the care of his great-grandfather. Miscommunication led to a devastating oversight. Dior was left unattended. The realization that Dior was missing struck like a bolt of lightning. Panic ensued as the family scoured the campground, calling out for the little boy who was nowhere to be found. The sounds of desperation shattered the tranquility of Timber Creek. The authorities were alerted, and a massive search operation was launched. Volunteers, law enforcement, and search and rescue teams combed the area, but the rugged terrain offered no clues. Dior had vanished, leaving behind a trail of questions and a family's broken heart. In the wake of Dior's disappearance, the stories from the 4 adults began to diverge, with each account muddling the truth further. The lack of consistency casts a shadow of doubt and suspicion over the entire group. Could someone among them know more than they were letting on? The small community of Lador and beyond rallied around the Kunz family, holding on to hope that Dior would be found. Yet that hope dimmed as days turned into weeks and weeks into years. The mystery of what happened to Dior Kunz Jr. remained unsolved, like a puzzle with missing pieces. Speculation swirled around Vernal and Jessica. Their actions were scrutinized and their pasts examined. Accusations flew, but without concrete evidence, they remained just that, accusations. The investigation hit dead ends and theories abounded, each more heart-wrenching than the last. In this quiet corner of Idaho, a family's dream became an ongoing quest for answers. The disappearance of Dior Kunz Jr. is a haunting reminder of how quickly joy can turn to sorrow, and how a moment's lapse can lead to a lifetime of regret. Dior continues to live in the hearts of those who knew him, and those who have come to learn his story over time. His disappearance has created an irreplaceable void in his family, a missing piece that can never be filled. The mystery of what happened to the young child in the vast wilderness of Idaho remains unsolved, a story without an end, a question without an answer.